Star Wars Rebels Season 2 premiere, The Siege of Lothal. I was really excited because of the trailer for this season. I think everyone was. I mean, it's like, here's Darth Vader coming in, here, even though we didn't get them all, we didn't get everything kind of thrown in this one episode, we are going to get the last couple remaining clone troopers later in the season, and it's just an amazing season. It seems like it's going to be something that's leagues beyond season one, which was already really great. So I was really excited for this premiere, and I think it held up really well. We got to see Vader really come in and take over in the pursuit of the rebels. We got to see him actually fight against Kanan and Ezra, which was really cool. I was very surprised, actually, that the big scene, from the trailer was, thrown in the season premiere. So that was actually really awesome. And it was like, that was a great surprise, because I figured that'll probably be, 4 or 5 episodes in, maybe halfway through the season, they'll give us this epic battle that, they somehow escaped from. But they gave it to us in the very first episode of the season, so that was definitely amazing. We just got to see them just get destroyed by Vader, basically. I mean, they all survived, but it was Vader being Vader, and it was just him, his powerful blows. He's like stopping people. He basically backhanded Ezra at one point. He just like hit him, and he also used the Force, so of course he flew really far. But he basically just backhanded him, like, yeah, you can get out of here. So it was really cool to see that. He wounded Kanan at like one point. He hit his guard. Sabine could have completely been killed in this episode if she wasn't wearing the Mandalorian armor, and the blasters. I guess blaster lasers, were reflected and hit her in the chest and in the head. So it was just a crazy scene. Like, she could have easily died. If he wasn't wearing that guard, it definitely probably would have just cut straight through him. So it was really cool, and I like the way that they played around with this concept of, even though they most likely, hopefully, won't kill off any of the rebels, they are facing Darth Vader. There are gonna be moments where they could easily have been killed if it weren't for, these saving graces. So I definitely love that. Like, just the whole fight scene, of course, was really amazing. But even before that, they had a really big moment where it's like, all right, we have this person who's actually going to turn against the Empire and help us, and she gets killed in an explosion. Like, they completely killed her off, and the Empire sabotages the ship to blow it up and kill her off. And of course, it's to basically turn the city against the rebels, and it was just cool. I was like, this is very serious, it's very gritty, and that's one of the things I love about Rebels. It gets fairly dark, which I think a lot of people enjoy. Like, it gets dark when it has its certain moments, and this is definitely one of them. They admittedly kind of blew past it because they were in the middle of a firefight. They didn't have the time to just sit down and relax and think about how crazy things got. But she was killed in an explosion by the Empire because they figured something's going on here, so they killed her off, turned everyone against the rebels, and then there's a crazy fight with them, and that was a cool shootout, and Sabine shooting people, Kanan in like the full stormtrooper outfit, which gave us a pretty funny moment with Ezra when he was like, I'm a bit jealous, I only have like the helmet and stuff. So lots of great things in this premiere. We also got to see sort of the master apprentice level difference when we saw Ezra try to do a Jedi mind trick, and it didn't work on the stormtrooper, and then Kanan had to come in and save it. And it was like, it's kind of funny seeing that stuff where, and it was just like in season one where he tries to do some big things and then it kind of fails, but it happens in the funny way. And then, Kanan came in and saved everything. And then, of course, they had a nice little one-liner where Kanan was like, I wish that worked on you, so you could kind of just keep him in line. But it was really fun. I thought it was just really well done. It was a great season. We got to see a very interesting side of Kanan with them joining the Rebel Alliance, or at least starting to join it. And his issue with joining them is mostly because he lived throughout Order 66, and he understands everything that happened, and how, he even says it changed everyone. It wasn't just that it changed the Jedi because they were all, mostly wiped out. It changed everyone. It changed the galaxy and the universe. So I just love that concept of him struggling, even though it's great to have this big team and they can do far greater things. He worries about getting involved in this all-out war because he'd done it before, and it didn't exactly go well. And even if you win, one side wins or loses, either way, everything changes. So, not everyone's going to survive, which we once again saw in this episode in both the beginning and the end when Darth Vader was in his ship and he takes out basically the entire squadron that they were working with in the beginning. And it's like, these guys are really cool. They helped him out in the beginning of the episode. They were just destroying everybody. And then they face Vader at the end, and they all get destroyed. I think there was one ship left. There was one person who lived. So it was a huge difference, and we got to see that. Everyone has merits, of course, Kanan having gone through it, and then you have like Hera and pretty much the rest of the team wanting to work with the rebels because they can help more people in much grander ways. So it was great to see that, and I'd like to see how they play with that throughout the rest of the season, especially with the whole Darth Vader thing, where it's like, we can't defeat this one guy who can obviously come after us. What's the point of us joining this rebel alliance when we can all just get destroyed? Because he was by himself until the very end, and he still was the only person that attacked in any way. He's, spinning, doing barrel rolls and flipping the ship backwards and stuff like that, and he took out everyone himself. And the only thing that the Star Destroyers did was basically lock, or attempt to lock the rebels down before they jumped through hyperspace. And that was it. It was still just him. So it was great to see all that stuff play out. And of course that led to probably one of the best moments when they were in that firefight at the end, which was Ahsoka and Darth Vader realizing that each other is alive, and realizing that Vader now, we didn't see the Emperor, which I thought kind of sucked, but we at least got his voice. But he's like, now they have this new plan where if we can get her, we can find other Jedi that have been scattered thanks to Order 66. And then, of course, Ahsoka, even though she hid it, she knows that Vader is, the former Anakin Skywalker, her former master. So it was just a great little moment that she decides to keep hidden. I'm not exactly sure why, but I'd have to assume it's just everything going on is like she has to process that herself to begin with. So I completely understand. But I loved it. I thought it was great how they did that. That was probably the biggest shock to me. I didn't expect them, aside from the fight actually being in the first episode, I never would have expected them to do it in the first episode, where it's like, hey, not only do we get this big fight scene with Vader versus Kanan and Ezra, but we also get Ahsoka realizing who Vader is. We got that in the very first episode of the season. And I think that's probably the biggest thing everyone was waiting for, with Darth Vader and Ahsoka being in the same series. It's not Anakin, the Master Apprentice thing. It's now Vader and Ahsoka. So they gave it to us in the very first episode. I can't wait to see where they take things from here for that storyline. And also, we didn't get the Inquisitors, like I mentioned, so I'm excited to see them. We got 2 of them this time instead of 1. Hopefully their personalities are good, because I really enjoyed the Inquisitor in the last season, and I was kind of upset that he got killed off, because I liked his character. I thought he has a personality. He's in a lot of episodes. He speaks to different people in certain ways. He manipulates them and things like that. And based on the trailer, we just have like 2 really cool people. One's a male, one's a female. Or at least, as far as design goes, that's obviously how they went for it. And they just have like armor and even masks, so we don't even know what they look like at this point. So I'm hoping that they do have really good personalities that we can kind of get in touch with, and they aren't just like Sith with cool lightsabers and that's it. So I'm sure that's not how it's going to play out, but I'm still excited to see, and hopefully we'll get some really cool battles, because now it's going to be 2-on-2 and not just 1-on-2, and that could be even more dangerous for Ezra as well as Kanan and the rest of the team, depending on how they play around with that stuff throughout the rest of the season. But I love this premiere. I can't wait to get the rest of the clones, more Darth Vader and Ahsoka. Maybe they'll actually confront each other, and I'm really scared that if that happens, Ahsoka would get killed off, so that freaks me out a little to even think of that. But I love this premiere. I'm really excited for it. Glad it was an hour long. I figured it would just be half an hour, but really glad it was an hour long. We got some pretty cool stuff throughout, some interesting conversations, and mindsets of the different characters and how they feel about this war and gaining more allies, but how that can kind of change the overall aspect of what they're doing. So great start for season 2. I'm really excited for everything they have lined up. Of course, I want to know what you guys thought about this premiere, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And I think the biggest thing is, what did you guys think of just Darth Vader in this premiere, because of course he was introduced at the very end of the last season, and we knew, the battle was going to happen, and it's like Darth Vader and Ahsoka. So we got a lot of those really big things just in this episode, but even aside from that, it's still just Darth Vader in general. And we didn't see him choke anyone. Very surprised by that, because especially with the one guy when he was like, it's not your fault, but Darth Vader, Lord Vader won't know that. I was very surprised he didn't just choke a guy out in this episode. They might be saving that for later, but I think we all kind of expected that when he got captured. Like, somebody's getting choked right now. But I definitely want to know what you guys thought about Vader, as well as the premiere as a whole, and also what you guys want to see for season 2. Like, all the different characters coming in. We got Lando in this episode. Surprised by that one. So recurring characters, new characters, including the Storm or Clone Troopers and stuff like that. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.